Hello people, yes, it's me. How are you? Hope you're doing good. If you have never listened to the song The Judge by 21 Pilots, well you should. Yeah, so sorry for my kind of absence, I guess. I don't know, do I have to apologize for that stuff? I feel like it's polite to offer an explanation. My dog keeps wanting to go outside, and then I open the door, and then he's like, nah, I'm good. And then I'll be like, okay. Then I'll close it, and then he wants to go back out again. I don't understand. I don't. But anyway, so I like to make my videos when no one is in my house, outside of me and my fellow animals. But that has not been the case for some time. There has been people in here, and yeah, here we are now. Empty for a couple hours. We're going to talk about what if, well, just scenarios if Percy Jackson died. To be honest, I just thought of this idea like 15 minutes ago on the couch, so it may not be my best, but yeah, whatever. We're going to talk about it. There are going to be no spoilers. No spoilers. I am, outside of Serpent's Shadow, I am caught up on my Rick Riordan series reading. I've read all the Trials of Apollo, all of Magnus Chase, Heroes of Olympus, Percy Jackson, all that good jazz. But no, I'm not going to be going into any spoilers whatsoever. So if you are not caught up with everything, let's say outside of Percy Jackson and Olympians, and then I guess Heroes of Olympus. I mean, I feel like those you should definitely have read, at least Percy Jackson and Olympians. You don't have to worry about any spoilers. We're just going to talk about, do I think, just scenarios around Percy Jackson's death. And specifically, if it happens, how would I like it to happen? So, yeah, hope you guys enjoy. Now, you may be wondering, well, Jake, how can you answer a question like this without spoilers? Well, we're gonna talk about it hypothetically, okay? Just saying, if Percy was going to die at some point, how would I prefer it? Well, I wouldn't. Ha! Bang. Trick question. What? I can't answer it like that? Well, bada bang, it's my channel. Yeah. So, yeah, I wouldn't kill him. No. And honestly, I tried explaining how I would like him to die, and I just couldn't find it in myself. Because I wouldn't. It would be stupid. It would be stupid. So we are going to redirect this. Call it clickbait if you want. Call it nothing. Or just leave. You've probably already left. I don't blame you. But let's talk about this instead. It would be stupid to kill him now. Because it is not his time. His time is past. He is still around. He's still doing his thing. But this series isn't about him. I doubt any future series that Rick writes is going to be exclusively about Percy, because we've got two. At least one solid one, and then being Percy Jackson Olympians, his name is literally in the title, and then he plays a gigantor role in the Heroes of Olympus. So yeah, he's got two. He's not going to be a main role in any future ones. I say that pretty confidently. I've been wrong several times before, and I really wouldn't be super surprised if I'm wrong now. But I think the safe bet is he's not going to be. Henceforth, his time is gone. If you were going to kill him, you should have done it already. Now, I say this because there is an incy-bincy part of myself that is worried that Rick will pull a gigando fast one and kill Percy. There's just like the pessimistic, negative side, the fearful side of me. It's really worrying. So just a little part of me. It's like, Rick Wright might actually do this. He might. I don't think he will. Because for one, as I've said many times, if he does, he will meet a similar fate shortly thereafter, courtesy of us crazy fans. But I just think if you were going to kill him right now, in any future time, unless, like I said, it's another exclusive Percy book, which probably isn't going to happen. But if that's going to happen, it would just feel like some shock, wow factor that was done just to tick us off, just to throw us for a loop, just to make us feel something. But emotions are great, but there are a time and place for certain emotions. And I think that's one of the, let's just say, I'm not a good writer, so I can't really speak for all this, but I do think, just as a fan of books and movies and everything, I'm a fan of a good death scene. But because for one, they make you feel something. They make stakes. They cause all this schist to go down. It's great. But if you do it at the wrong time, it seems artificial. It has to come naturally. It has to be right timed, right place, right everything. It's extremely hard to do, I'm sure. So what I'm saying is all that is out the window for Percy. And if you did it now, like I said, it would just feel artificial, like you're trying to just throw us for a loop. For no good reason. There would be no good reason besides just a random emotion that doesn't need to be there and shock factor. Both of which I'm not really about right now. So let's say, well, Jake, how would you have liked him to die in the past? Again, I think everything has been handled pretty well. But I think it would have been kind of cool if he would have died in The Last Olympian. I love The Last Olympian's ending, and I would not change a thing. But if there was some cruel god that came down here and said, hey, Jake, you have to go kill Percy, when would you do it? I'd do it in The Last Olympian. It would be like a triple whammy. Okay, I would have it done directly like after Luke dies. So I would have Luke and, Cronus, Luke, and Percy fight. Them throw some good stuff. Then the whole shebang happens when Luke kills himself. And then shortly thereafter, Percy dies of like lingering wounds. Maybe this is pretty tropey. Probably is. Like I said, it was done well the first time. But bear with me. It would be like a triple whammy, okay? Because we would go all through all these things, kind of wondering if Percy's going to die. Like, I don't think I really ever expected him to die, but kind of wondering if he might. Definitely with the prophecy, like the cursed blade shall reap, the hero's soul, cursed blade shall reap, makes at least Percy think he's going to die. So you kind of have that thought, well, maybe he will. And then Luke dies. And like, oh, cool. So it's Luke's soul. It's still really sad, but at least it's not Percy. And then, whada bang, now Percy's dead. Triple whammy. Then, what would happen afterwards? Well, you remember those feels that we had when we read The Heroes of Olympus, and we didn't know where Percy was, and Annabeth was really shook up because her new BF had just disappeared from nowhere, and we all hate Hera, and all this, hoopla's going down. Now crank that up like to 11, right? Because now he's actually dead. Now we have no reassurance that he's going to go back. We have to deal with these real permanent emotions that we know are going to be there the entire time. We're not going to have to really move on. We're going to have to stick with Annabeth's depression. Maybe imagine like how all you people got like so shook up when Nico confessed that he liked Percy for a while. Well, now imagine if Percy was actually dead. We never have that, oh, you're not my type moment. Oh my gosh, could you imagine the terror if we didn't have that? Oh, what would the memers do? I have no idea. But anyway, it would just be a gigantic, it would change everything. It would change everything. It'd be like, can I spoil the MCU? I'm going to spoil the MCU, Marvel Cinematic Universe. I'll put a little caption thing, and if you want to pop back after, if you haven't watched stuff, then yeah, you might want to not get spoiled. So it'd basically be how Iron Man died, which it's kind of similar because this whole thing started with Iron Man. So now Tony's dead. Well, now the MCU doesn't die with him. It goes on, but now it goes on without him. We're not just going to forget that he was there. Now we have to deal with all these lingering emotions. Now we have to see how all these characters deal with it. Characters, obviously it's bigger with the characters that were close to him. And so it's the emotion and impact and everything. It's just all over the place. And as a result of all this, us viewers feel the feels and get to witness the characters feel the feels. Is this a bad thing? No, that's great. Why? Because the death was handled correctly, in my point of view. The Jedi are evil, sorry. But yeah, it was done great. We all felt the impact to Tony's death. It didn't feel artificial or stupid or mistimed. It felt awesome. And nothing was taken away from the franchise by watching Tony die.
I think that's a sufficient cushion. Please come back. I love you.
That's basically how I'd like Percy to die. Not if he would have died. Nothing would have been taken away. It would just make us all feel really sad, but it would have made sense because he just fought freaking Cronus and Luke, and he just died. You know, he was the hero. He shouldn't have been born, but he was, and now we wish he didn't die, but he did. And now this fourth, we have to witness all these other people. Jason, instead of becoming like creating a beautiful bromance with Percy, will now have to like live with like, well, who was this Percy Jackson guy? Like, why are all these people that I have to work with like so sad? And just have to deal with that. And we'd see Jason in a different light. And instead of Jason just being the lesser Percy, maybe that would be worse now since we actually don't have Percy. Or maybe we would kind of have to accept him in this new role. It would just be pretty interesting. That being said, I'm glad it didn't happen that way. I love the series, obviously. It's like basically my favorite of all time. I love Heroes Olympus as well. I think it was all handled pretty fan-frickin-tastic. But if it was done, I think that would have been a pretty interesting way for it to happen. But that time is past. So, yes, Rick. How about no on the killing? Thank you. So yeah, there you go, guys. I know it was kind of all over the place. Sorry about that. But anyway, Percy's pretty awesome. You all are too, I think. Maybe you're not, but we're just going to say you are. Because why be mean? When we don't have to be. We'll just believe this stuff about ourselves. Okay, why not? So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Thanks for being here. Happy 4th of July. I kind of hate 4th of July because the fireworks freak out my dog. We've got some people down in my neighborhood blowing stuff up, and my dog doesn't like it. And yeah, but whatever. Hope you guys have a good day. Love each other. I don't know. Whatever. Thanks for guys for watching. Peace.
You're the judge. Oh no. Set me free.